Hello, my name is Sister Toby Lardie. One of the ministries that I'm involved with is the Dorothy Day House, a Catholic worker house in Youngstown, Ohio. The ministry began in 2009, and in order to understand the ministry and why we do what we do, I'd like to begin by showing you a short video clip about Dorothy Day. This is just a few minutes of a longer video, which you can see on YouTube, called Dorothy Day Revolution of the Heart.
In many ways, Dorothy Day was a typical grandmother.
I see my grandmother as someone who was very ordinary, but also very extraordinary. I mean, I understood that she was different.
Different because Dorothy Day was so often on the front lines, protesting war and nuclear buildup, creating houses of hospitality for the hungry and homeless, and earning her place on the FBI watch list as a dangerous American.
Yeah, Dorothy Day is a big troublemaker.
As a young journalist, Dorothy Day campaigned for those in need.
Her work keeps putting her front and center in the social movements of the time.
She wrote about workers' rights, child labor. She was attracted to communism, believing it was a way to improve people's lives, all part of a chapter in her own life that would leave its scars. But with the birth of her daughter, Dorothy Day turned from communism and converted to the Catholic faith. There, she discovered a path that for nearly a half-century led her to become one of the greatest champions for the poor America has ever known.
She thought if communism is radical, why shouldn't Christianity be radical? This is radical.
My grandmother always said that she never meant to start houses of hospitality. She never meant to open up soup lines. But what happens when you start writing about these things, people show up at the door.
She wanted the people to exercise their own sense of personal responsibility. You see something that needs to be done, you do it.
But accepting the biblical challenge to be peacemakers also compelled her to become a pacifist without compromise, to use her Catholic worker movement and the newspaper she founded to resist America's intervention in any war. Many believed her behavior was un-American.
She did describe herself as an anarchist.
There's an anarchist dimension to her Christian witness.
Some of the most profound and most rewarding demonstrations that culminated in arrests were with the Catholic worker community.
I think of Dorothy Day as a firecracker that never goes out.
Now this grandmother and anarchist may well be declared a saint.
We'd love to see Dorothy made a saint. For both American middle-class people and for Catholics, they recognized that something extraordinary was going on. They weren't quite sure what to do with it.
She annoyed people because she challenged them.
She would say, don't call me a saint. I don't want to be written off that easily.
Well, I think if you take the Lord's words, you'll find they're pretty rigorous. The Sermon on the Mount may be read with great enjoyment, but when it comes to practicing it, it really is an examination of conscience to see how far we go.
So you can see from this short video that Dorothy Day certainly left a powerful legacy. In her spirit, more than 200 Catholic worker houses have been founded throughout the United States and also internationally. So in the fall of 2008, Sister Ann McManaman, one of our HM sisters, began to talk with leadership about opening a Dorothy Day House. And so collaborating with the Youngstown Ursuline sisters and the HMs, they wanted to find a way to serve the needs of those who were poor here in Youngstown, Ohio. Sister Susan Shorston was the pastoral leader at that time of the Sisters of the Humility of Mary, and Sister Regina Rogers, the head of the Youngstown Ursuline sisters. So they worked together with Sister Ann and with the whole committee of interested people to pursue this dream. Sister Ann visited a number of Catholic worker houses to find out more information, to see how they were set up. She went to Detroit. She went to Iowa. She visited in the Catholic Worker House in Akron, Ohio. She spoke with people at many other of the locations. And after much study and prayer among the committee members, it was decided to find a house. They also spoke with many consultations and had many consultations with lawyers and others about what it would mean to set up this house. So the house was found and renovated a bit to meet the needs of a hospitality house where meals could be served and they could provide showers and serve the homeless and the poor people in the area who struggled on a daily basis. The House of Hospitality was incorporated legally, and in fact, 2 boards were set up to ensure that the vision would move forward with the values and the purposes that Dorothy Day has set out as a house of hospitality. So it was based on the works of mercy and Catholic social teaching and justice. Several sisters and associates of both the Sisters of the Humility of Mary and the Youngstown Ursuline Sisters continue to serve on these boards and are active in many of the activities in the house. So the house was officially opened on November 22nd in 2009, and on November 22nd, 2024, we celebrated the 15th anniversary of the house with a wonderful Mass of Thanksgiving and a reception following. We had many, many people that came to that from both communities, plus the guests and others who have supported the house. So Dorothy Day was very clear about the values and what was important. And based on the missions of our local house, let me read that to you. In the spirit of Dorothy Day, the Youngstown Catholic Worker is a community founded on personal relationships, committed to learning and living the gospel of love through hospitality and peaceful resistance to injustice. And so these values that come from that mission are based first on personal relationship, and that's a very important part of the ministry. Everyone who comes to the house is a guest. The relationships are based on respect and the dignity of each and every person. Another value is exceptional hospitality, provided in many services, and I'll speak about those in a moment. Another value is peaceful resistance to injustice, and another, involvement and collaboration in the local community. And that's very, very important. So the house operates with all volunteers. There is no paid person on the staff or among all the workers. There's a co-coordinator, since Sister Ann served for many years as the coordinator, and now we have 2 co-coordinators. We have a core committee, which meets on a regular basis to coordinate activities and establish policies for the house. We have meals served with team leaders and serving teams. We have cleaning volunteers. We have volunteers who work in many other of the aspects of the house. So the meals are served on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And as I said, there are serving teams for each of those. And many groups come to help prepare and to serve the food. And many meals are donated by different parishes or groups or even restaurants. At this time, we've been serving from 80 to 100 people each night, and that's back pretty much to our pre-COVID levels for the guests that come. Our own HM associates and sisters come every other month on a Monday to serve, bringing food that's prepared at the villa, and other associates cook and serve meals at other times. On Wednesday afternoons, people can come to take showers, and once a month, a group of hairdressers come to give haircuts. And that time on Wednesday afternoons is quite a social time, so people can enjoy snacks. There are often bingo games with prizes and things that take place during that while people are waiting their turns. When they get a shower, they receive new underwear and socks and often small bags of personal items. Our associate sisters, villa staff, and apartment residents recently helped to collect personal items to donate to the house, and they had quite a few that they were able to take there. There's a garden on the side of the house, and fresh vegetables are used with the meals. There are quite a few volunteers that help with the garden. When you enter the house now, a new pantry area has been established. And so when food is donated, it is kept there and given out when people come for the meals. For example, a bread company has been donating bread each week, and on Fridays usually, and then on Saturdays, there are several volunteers who come to help package the bread in individual bags so guests can take it with them on their way out the door from their meals. Another donor brings frozen TV dinners once a month, and the guests can also take those home. Downstairs in the basement, they've built new cupboards and organized the many donations. We could not operate this house without the many donations we receive from people. And as I said, once a month, guests receive gift bags with many of the items that have been donated, which at times could be winter gloves or scarves or other needs. Upstairs in the house, on the second floor and also in the attic, there are several bedrooms. And there is one apartment area. That's where Sister Ann used to live. But now that apartment is occupied by Russ Bell Martinez, a young man who fled Venezuela because of the violence there. But he is now in the Dana School of Music. And you may have heard him playing his viola or violin at different events. There are renovations beginning upstairs. We received some donations to help with that, to create a couple more apartments, with the hope that perhaps an immigrant family or a mother with children can live in the house until they find more permanent housing. You remember when the bank blew up in downtown Youngstown several months ago, there were many people displaced from their apartments. And so at that time, we were able to accept 3 men into the house and give them temporary housing for several weeks until they could return to their own apartments. So in addition to the many aspects of hospitality service, Dorothy Day was very clear, as I said, that an important part of the ministry must be about justice issues and becoming peacemakers. These positions for her were non-negotiable aspects of living the gospel. Her actions and writings were based on those corporate works of mercy and the Catholic social teaching. To this end, the ministry at Dorothy Day House in Youngstown also includes monthly roundtable meetings, and that might be a discussion on a current issue. We have presenters who come in to talk about resources in Youngstown available to the people. We've had topics presented on human trafficking or other important topics. So this ministry is a wonderful combination and collaboration of so many people and activities. Sister Ann McManaman served as the coordinator of the house for more than 13 years. And now there are so many people who are volunteering to continue that legacy built on the hopes and dreams of Dorothy Day. It is truly a ministry following the mission of Jesus, in which our sisters, associates, and covenant companions extend through our own Humility of Mary mission to bring more abundant life to God's people, especially to those who are poor. And finally, in closing, I'd just like to say we're always looking for more volunteers at the house. And if you'd like to help out, please let us know. Thank you.